and welcome. I am Kaylin Preslar, and I am going to be showing you how to utilize JSTOR. JSTOR is a wonderful resource for conducting your research because it is a digital library that has over 10,000 sources that are comprised of both primary and secondary sources. This is especially helpful for assignments where maybe you're going to be doing some sort of literary criticism and you need both the primary source and then also the secondary source at the same time, and you only want to use one database. So you can navigate straight to jstor.org, where you can then scroll to the top and log in through your library, or you can go directly to UNC Greensboro's library, and you will see that right at the top it has an option for databases. And once you click that, you'll see that JSTOR is actually a featured database over here on the right. And so once we are here, you can start with the basic search. So we are researching fairies. So we will look up fairies, and you can see that it gives you your image results right here at the top. You can click to view all of them if that is what you are seeking. If you just need one really quickly to use in conjunction with the rest of your work, you can look at the suggestions here, and it will tell you a little bit about each piece and give you the option to cite or download or save that piece. Right here you can download, and here you will be able to save or cite. Now if you scroll down, you will see the rest of your results where they are sorted by relevance, but you can change that by changing it to newest or oldest date. You are also able to refine your search by filtering through academic content or primary source content. So if you're specifically looking for an academic scholarly source on a specific book or several books that feature fairies, you might look up book chapters, or maybe you'll look up journals, or maybe you'll look up both. And this will give you everything that specifically relates to that criteria. If you are wanting to do a more specific search, you can go back and maybe you're wanting to write about fairy rings. So fairy rings is 2 words. So we would consider that a phrase, and we would actually put that in quotations. And what those quotes do is they just ensure that all of the sources that come up keep these 2 terms together. So you can see once we search, every source that pops up has fairy rings together, right? You can also do an advanced search if we go back to the top. And from here you can type in multiple terms or phrases. So maybe we want to look up fairies, and we want to look up specifically folklore. So we're wanting to learn the lore, the origins of the fairies. Right here, you can choose the option to look up both fairies and folklore. And what that's going to do is just ensure that every source that comes up contains both of those terms in it. Or you can hit the or option, and that means that it's going to provide you with results that have either the term fairies or the term folklore in it. You also have the option to hit not. And so the not option means that you're going to be provided with sources that have the term fairies, but no sources that have the term folklore in it. And this can be really helpful if you specifically want to avoid a certain term, but keep in mind that doing so will also filter out any piece that might be helpful to your fairy research if it happens to have the folklore term in it at all. The near options basically just tell you how far in proximity these terms are going to be to one another. So if you want to make sure that fairies and folklore are very close to each other, you might say near 5. So that means that there's going to be no more than 5 words between these 2 terms. You can do the same with 10 or 25. You can also specify what field you're looking for, right? And maybe you want to look up Yeats, right? You would go over here and you would say that you want specifically works that address Yeats. And you would also say fairies. And you could say that this is just maybe a title piece, right? So his book about fairy lore, it could come up as a search result here because it has fairies in the title, but it also has Yeats in the author field. You can continue to scroll and you can add an extra row if you want to make your search even more specific, or you can filter by content you can access or all of the content. This is really helpful if you just quickly need content that is available to you through your library. You're also able to narrow your results to articles, reviews, books, etc., your language, publication date, and even your subject if this is for a specific class, right? So let's go back to the search here and let's just look back more information about fairies. So once we have our search results, we have the option to download immediately. Say you look at the excerpt here and you're like, yep, this is everything that I need. You can automatically download it. You can also save it to your workspace so that you can come back and use it later, or you can cite it directly. If you want to do this with multiple pieces at one time, you just check here on the left-hand side of each title, and you'll have the ability to cite them. And this actually exports them to any of these sources. If you have one you particularly want to use, maybe you want to get these sites directly onto Zotero, this will take them and put them there, or you can save them. You can also add these sources to your workshop, as we said with save. And what your workshop looks like is it gives you an ability to make a folder. So maybe we want to make this fairies, right? You'll create and save, and then it's going to add that source there. So when you go to your workspace later, you have a limited amount of time, you want to read it at a set time, you'll just sign in, you'll go to your workspace, and there it is.